I've been ready from the jump. Tell me anything, but never tell me that I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm on. You can bet I've been above. You can never see me like I'm John. Seen it with a song. Yeah, we kicking in the whip, boy, then vroom, vroom. Invisible of Bitcoin, but all around, we taking over the world. I'm making home with the girl, head to tail like a flip coin. You can take it how you want. I've been up having fun. Yeah, baby, this ain't a disjoint. I ain't famous, I'm a boss. I've been up stacking sauce. Do you share the hit, boy?
What's up, everybody? This is the Kent Farm Podcast, and we are doing a Saturday Night Live with my boys here. Mainterio, Jumbled Beats, how you doing?
Good, very good.
That's the way. And we got Kieran here. He doesn't have video, but we're going to chat to him anyway. How you going, man?
Yeah, good.
That's the way. So I'm just coming off. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just coming off watching Dave's vodka stream. And have decided to kick on myself with a few beverages. How about you?
Same. Got my drink here.
Yeah.
Vodka stream still wrapping up.
Still going. They go for a long time, but that was a good one. I mean, they had Junkie XL on. And yeah, he had a lot to say, and it was just fantastic to hear. And you could see, obviously, he was having a good time kicking on, having a good time chatting, and he had a cigarette in his hand the entire time.
He's such a baller, isn't he? He's just
absolutely. And we did learn. We did learn a bit.
We did. A fair bit of content came out of that stream tonight, I must say.
Well, I posted a photo because we were watching, and I was watching on my TV in the lounge room, and I have a puppy who is 3 months old, maybe just a little over 3 months old, a little chocolate lab, and he was sitting in there, he had some cardboard or something, and he was just ripping into it, and then Junkie XL was like, "I'm gonna play this new theme." And it was really funny because as soon as he played it, the music started and it was all really loud and epic. And he stopped and he was like, and he was just staring up at the TV, and it was hilarious to watch. Like, obviously, yeah, he just was so enthralled by the theme song, sort of like how I imagine the rest of us will be. And yeah, it was good to see. And obviously, that's a fantastic tune.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, have you had a chance to listen to, obviously, the crew at War Power, and what are your thoughts coming off what we had with Danny Elfman? Kieran, you go first, yeah.
I'll go first, yep. I absolutely loved it. I've listened to it probably like 10 times. I'll just stick it on randomly in the background. I'm doing shit on Photoshop, and it's awesome. Like, that song, score. And I don't know, the Danny Elfman stuff is like they're not bad. The original themes that he used, they're not bad. Like, they're great for the movies that they're in, but they just weren't for Justice League.
For this version, anyway. Like,
yeah, definitely.
One thing that I noted that they did talk about on the vodka stream there was, I think Steven had said the original '89 Batman theme is fire. And now every time I hear it, it reminds me of him saying there's only one Batman theme. And I think that it's the exact same thing for me. Like, that just disappoints me. I just want to give a shout out. Clues post was epic. Thank you very much. I did manage to snag it back in 2013 from the local cinema, as I had a friend who worked there. And I didn't have anywhere to put it up until 6 months ago when I bought a house and moved it into the studio. So happy days. It's finally up after having it for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So for me, I was going to try and do a little more promotion on this, but today I got a 12-hour ban on Twitter. I've never been banned before. I've never been in Twitter jail. But essentially what happened was they put up this article, Variety put up that article about Joss Whedon saying, oh, yeah, the only reason that he had struggled and there was so much chaos on set with Buffy was because there was a young cast and he wasn't good at being a showrunner yet. He was new to it and all that sort of shit. And I shared it, and I'll tell you word for word what I said that got me Twitter banned. I said, fuck off. Joss has always been a cunt. He still is a cunt. And now he's getting called out for it. And they immediately shut me down. And they said, you can delete the tweet and that might help. And I thought, oh, yeah, sweet. Thinking I'd be able to come back. Apparently that won't do it. You don't get away with that. So, yeah, here I am still sitting in Twitter jail, but you can't slow me down from the live stream. Let's just answer some along here. The Fatmaverse, I imagine it's how it's pronounced. I wouldn't have cared so much about the Elfman score if he wasn't so pretentious and infuriating. Thank you. Yeah. That's exactly how I feel. Yeah, if he wasn't being a pretentious prick about the entire thing. And again, like I grew up with that theme. The first movies that I remember watching of Batman's were the Keaton films because I was, well, I think just after I was born, Batman Forever came out. So those 4 films I grew up with, but the first 2 obviously being the ones I'd watched a lot of. And I loved that theme so much. I was so excited when I found out it was going to be in the film. And then I was kind of like, oh, that's cool. The John Williams one didn't work, in my opinion. It
was just put in random spots for no reason.
Yeah, it's like
fighting the league. And he's fighting the league, and that's not a hopeful moment.
No, that's exactly right. It's not an ideal moment for that situation and that theme. It's just like let's nostalgia bait, and I think that's the that's the biggest factor for me. Where it's just like, well, you're putting these things in for what reason? And to be honest, I sort of feel the same about Keaton being in the Flash. Like, I'm okay with it, but at the end of the day, if the plan is, as they say, to bring him in as a Batfleck replacement, it's like, this is nostalgia bait. It's not going to work. But hey, that's just me. Regarding that article, I don't think they did delete it, but I can't believe they posted it in the first place. Like, I don't know about you guys, but it just sort of feels like they should have been more aware, particularly with everything going on at the moment. Ray Fisher alone should have been enough for them to try and do something about that. But to have the entire Buffy cast come out against him and stuff too, and then come out with like a really tone deaf article like that, it's just a load of absolute crap, if you ask me.
Oh yeah. It's, his career is over.
Oh, absolutely.
He is not going to work again.
Well, what are they saying? No, he's just going to spend time with his family. Yep. I'll believe that. Sure.
And he is. But that's all he's going to do. He's not going to do anything after that.
Yeah. But it was his decision.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah. It
was like
just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's either you leave or we we make you leave. So
yeah, exactly.
And I guess it harpens back to what they said about Zach. It's like, was he fired or did he quit? Did he walk away to spend time with family? Or, like he was pushed out gradually bit by bit until he had enough.
Well,
it's soft fire.
Absolutely. And I guess funny that you say that, because I think it was interesting again on the vodka stream tonight, talking to Junkie XL. The discussion that was had was obviously regarding his situation leaving, and he didn't want to go into too much about it, but he did heavily emphasize the fact that he had a bad taste in his mouth and decided sort of to back off. So it was good to see that he had decided to pull himself away from it, and it was pretty much definitive that they went to Danny Elfman because Junkie XL was like, I'm not doing this after everything that's going on here, and I can't respect that enough, particularly knowing that Junkie XL had been sort of Hans Zimmer's protege on those first couple of films, you know, learning the ropes on that sort of stuff. And then this was his big chance to go off solo, separate to Hans Zimmer, which is massive. And then he was willing to step away. Like, you can see the integrity in a person just from that alone.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
Yeah.
100%. You can tell that he's, you know, he comes from a band background as well. So you can tell that he's got loyalty there. You know, he's gonna stick with the people. And if someone gets kicked out of the band, you know, you go, oh, do we keep going? Do we? He's like, no, this is part of this is our crew. So, you know, and he's
right.
like, I'm not gonna just. His career is, he's gonna progress his career on his own. He doesn't have to take this project and burn bridges. You know, like he doesn't want to work with that guy. He wants to work with these guys. And if he goes to work with that guy, he may not ever work with these guys again. So I can completely understand why.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'd want to choose that because, like, you look at him now. You know, like he's got 2 movies coming out back to back. Well, 3, right?
Yeah, 3.
3 movies back to back.
3 movies back to back.
I think it's like, was it within 2 months, like all together? Like it's about like 2 months span, just Junkie.
It'll be just over 2 months by the time. You know, yeah, it'll be 2 months and 2 days or something like that when you look at it. You got, because obviously Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out, and then we've got straight after that, Warner Brothers is
Kong,
releasing Godzilla vs. Kong. Yep.
Yeah.
And then of course, right at the end there, we've got Army of the Dead, which. Yeah, it's super exciting. And, you know, looking back over it, you sort of... I haven't appreciated the stuff that Junkie XL has actually done in the past that I've seen and really liked, like, for example, Mad Max Fury Road. You see his scores on that. It's just phenomenal. He did hint, or there was discussion about Furiosa on there, which... Again, how long ago did Mad Max Fury Road come out? 2015. And they've been discussing Furiosa for a long time. So that was cool to hear a little discussion about that.
Yeah. I didn't get that far into the live stream yet. I'm about halfway through it, so I'm still catching up.
Yeah, right. Well, spoiler alert, you'll catch a few from...
I just got up to when he dropped the score and it was just fire.
So epic. Just to point out, I do have the ability to bring up comments. Drop a comment. If you have any questions you want to ask us, we're going to be discussing a lot of things tonight. So from what happened just then with the Junkie XL on the vodka stream through to the Superman news, through to the Army of the Dead trailer, District 10. We've got a lot that we want to cover tonight. We've got John who'll be joining us later too, and yeah, we'll get into some discussion. So if you have any questions, feel free, drop them in the comments, and we'll do what we can to answer them for you. Yeah. So I guess on that, and I'm sure we'll talk more about this when John gets here, but I put up a video earlier today, just essentially a 15-minute rant at Warner Brothers regarding Superman. And I mean, the more I think about it, the more I sort of ease off that. But it does occur to me that too many times in the last, 2 or 3 years, I've woken up to news that Cavill's out or Affleck's out or, you know, they're rebooting and all this sort of stuff. And it's just every single time, I know they're like, you know, this news has all come and gone and all that sort of thing. And it means nothing. But at the end of the day, you know, like, it still hits you. And for me, I keep waking up to this news, and every single time it's just fucking devastating. so regardless of whether we should consider what that situation is going forward, it still sort of is just gut wrenching when you see that and see that they're like, oh yeah, Cavill's out, we're bringing someone else in, J.J. Abrams is in, and that's it. Of course, we don't know that much information, but how did you guys react when you heard the news this morning?
You want to go first, Jumble?
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where you've just you don't know what to think. You don't know what to believe. You don't know how far along these things are.
Yeah.
A lot of these press releases that get put out there, you've got to know how to read the news. And, for the last couple of years now, being in the release of Snyder Cut movement and everything like that, you get to really start to see what's real, what's a hit piece, what's these places, they drop stuff even with scoopers. Like they'll give stuff to a scooper and they'll put it out there, and they want to generate a reaction. It's market research. So they'll give something to a scooper, they'll drop it, they'll assess if it's positive, negative, and then they'll go, oh, we had a really big reaction to that, or we didn't have much of a reaction at all. So they'll put
something like Henry Cavill Superman trending on Twitter today.
That's right, exactly. Like for instance, some of the stuff that Grace Randolph puts out, I know she gets a lot of flack, but she gets information, she puts it out there, the reactions come in, people go, oh, executives, they see that reaction, they go, oh, that's a big reaction, maybe we should not do that, maybe we should change that. And then all of a sudden these scoopers get a bad rap of, oh, that didn't go through, they missed that one.
For
What
all
about
the negativity, she has said that. For all the negativity that Grace Randolph does receive, she has said she does get access to things that she will make public in an attempt to have them changed.
That's right. Well, the Birds of Prey stuff.
The
Diamond. And you can tell 100% that there were so many reshoots around and that changes, little thing.
Yeah.
We've seen it now so much with Suicide Squad and with Justice League and with all of these films. We see the reshoots now. We're savvy. Like this fandom can see these things. Well, at least I know that I can.
Yeah. Well, that's 100%. You know,
that's a reshoot.
I think in Sean O'Connell's book, he does mention somewhere that these amateur detectives. The entire Snyder Cut fandom has become amateur detectives because of all this stuff. It's hit a point now where we're like, okay, well, we need to be doing this. We need to be checking this out. We need to be seeing what the differences are. And I think that's definitely interesting to see. Before we go too much further, I will add my man John in.
Hey,
John, how you going, mate?
How's my audio?
Look at that. His audio's all right, but he's changed his setup. He's looking more professional. He's going all right.
Yeah,
what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, the friend who sent me the upscaled 4K photo.
Oh, right.
Behind you.
So I'm stoked. So thanks, friend. I love you.
That looks sick.
No, I really like it's a bit of a mashup between Ben and Crypto and Cage's set up with the blue light. Love it.
Yeah. See, I think for me, the hard thing is I've got this massive poster behind me, and I sort of don't have anywhere else, anywhere to put anything else. So I've got all this stuff that I want to put in here, but it's got to go on the walls around me rather than behind me where everyone's going to be able to see it.
Yeah, right. In front of me is a legit mess. So it's amazing what a bit of camera tricks can do.
All right. Yeah, that's right. I just want to quickly bring this one up. Brendan, JL theme has a potential to really stick. No, 100% agree. I think Junkie XL. We were just discussing Junkie XL on the vodka stream, and yeah, just really, really cool. Really cool stuff. I think it will do well, and you can hear it. Even the crew at War Power, when that drop hits, it's epic. It's epic. What else can you say about it?
I saw it's definitely going to go for 4 hours. Like the score alone is going to be 4 hours. Is that what was spoken about?
So they confirmed
be,
today the film is 4 hours and 1 minute and 28 seconds or something. But you know, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, I'm disappointed because Zach had said that the film's 4 hours long." But then Junkie said on the stream somewhere I saw the thing's 4 hours and 20 minutes with the credits, and I imagine with his 10-minute interlude as well. If we're talking that, so yeah.
That's awesome.
Superman is cursed with nostalgia no matter who takes him on and what is done with this character. Superman will never stand close to hold the people have to Reeves, and it's never going away. That is 100% true, and I truly believe it's a huge factor in why Marvel has been able to do what it's done. Because if you ask who is Iron Man or who is Captain America, it's this iteration of it. If you ask people who is Batman and who is Superman, everyone's gonna have a different answer.
Yeah, just wait till they have to recast Wolverine.
Yeah,
See what happens there.
Any
tips on
Batman?
Does everyone have any thoughts on who they might be going for Wolverine? Does you guys have any?
Well, I saw
thoughts?
something today about Henry Cavill maybe being free.
The world would burn down if that happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Tyler Superman is doing well, but in all honesty, give it time and you'll see that he isn't taken as seriously as Superman. I would agree. I think the issue with that is, why do we need another Clark Kent? We've got a Clark Kent. You don't respect the Clark Kent we've got. Why are you giving us a second one? That's where I'm at with the entire thing. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I only just caught up on the Superman Lois Day, and I quite enjoyed it, to be honest. I mean, the production value seemed a lot higher than what I was expecting from other CW-verse shows that I sort of clocked off on. But no, it was quite good. I could tell there was some homages to Man of Steel. People probably calling them direct copies, but I appreciate it. The probably only thing I didn't like about it was the villain. I just thought that it was a waste of time. Like, should have just stuck with where they were going. But I did really appreciate that it moved pretty quickly. Like, they could have got bogged down on 5 episodes on just trying to hide the fact that he was Superman to his kids. But spoilers. But I think they've got on top of that pretty quickly.
Well, I mean, I think all in all, I watched it and I was like, yeah, it's okay. And I'm a big Superman fan, and I just wasn't enthused about this at all. And I feel like maybe it's because I watched Supergirl for 3 seasons, and by the time I was in the 3rd season, I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's CW.
You just want to get to
3. Yeah, I know. And like, I wasn't going to go in after the first one, but then they brought it into this Arrowverse, and I was like, oh, all right. And then Superman was in it, so I was like, oh, all right. And I was probably halfway through season 3, and then I was like, nah, I've had enough.
Yeah,
but
I think I watched the first. Sorry.
No, go on.
No, I think I watched the first 2. I didn't watch all of season 1. I watched the first 2 episodes of season 2 because that's when they introduced Superman.
Yeah.
Didn't hold on to me. So yeah, it was pretty hard viewing old Supergirl, in my opinion.
I was watching all of the Arrowverse shows week to week. So I was watching like 5 shows a week, and which it was so easy to just fall behind. And I think the thing with it was with this one, you know, the writing was a bit better, but all in all, I was finding still found just moments of absolute cringe, like when the son is talking to Lana's daughter, and Lana's daughter's like, "Oh yeah, I was really depressed, so I took all my mum's pills," and you know, and she made a big deal about it, and I was like, "Oh, really? No shit. You can't screw yourself." Obviously, like there was just moments like that where even like at that line, my fiance was in the next room and she'd heard it, and she walked in, and she goes, "That is so cringy," and I was like, "Right." Oh.
I saw a good meme that was quite relevant to the. I enjoyed it, but there was a meme of like, you know, when the script is bad, just throw on some good cinematography and it's all good.
And you can get away with it. That's right. Although I feel like
I remember
of people would try and do
persevering
that
with
shit about-
on CW. I think it was season 3 or 4 of Legends, and my wife was absolutely hating it because I was like, listen, I'm going to dig in. I think it was season 3 or 4. It was when maybe Damien Dark, or was the one after that? I don't know, but the pinnacle end of season episode, they all, I think, combined their powers and became a gigantic Bebo.
That's right.
Like,
Yep.
yeah, and I was
You're
like, no, I'm fucking done. Like, that was it for me.
And then
It's
they've
like,
played
nah.
that joke. They've continued with that joke so many times. Just to
Have you
answer your
not seen that,
question,
buddy?
no,
Oh.
but I do have mango beers in the fridge, Ash. I've got some mango beers there, which
That's
is
a good point.
yeah.
I'm out of my beers. I'll be back in a second.
John will be back. Yep, this is the Kent Farm kick on, John.
Full disclosure, I've not seen any of the CW stuff. I've just seen bits online. No, I haven't seen it.
Right, okay.
You've
So
probably seen the worst of it then.
It doesn't.
Yeah. See, when Arrow started, it was not long after Smallville ended, and I was like fanging for something like Smallville. And then I was like, oh, surely they're going to keep Justin Hartley and go on from that. But ultimately, they decided to go for Stephen Amell, who, watching the first season of Arrow, I was like, this show is actually quite good. It was a bit darker. It was a bit more serious. Then in season 2, they introduced Barry Allen, and the idea was that he was going to be like a recurring character, and then they were going to like backdoor pilot. But he was so well received, they were like, we'll give him his own show. And then from there, it was just like... I did like the fact that NBC bought Constantine off... or CW bought Constantine off NBC and then bought Matt Ryan across, because I would say to get such an accurate portrayal of who Constantine is fantastic. And he's one of the sort of highlight moments. And it was awesome when they did the Justice League Dark. They actually invited him on, and he did the voice for the Justice League Dark animated series too. So that was really cool.
Yeah, they're casting for a new Constantine movie, aren't they?
I think that was an HBO Max TV show, was it?
Yeah, so that was a discussion we'd had, because obviously we've got J.J. Abrams' Justice League Dark TV show coming, and then they've just announced the Constantine series as well, but it's designed to cross over. So it's going to be a lot of viewing, but I'm keen. I liked what they did with the NBC show before it got canned. But I don't know who I want playing Constantine, though. That's the hard thing. Matt Ryan is so in my head.
Yeah. I've been a big fan of potentially like a Hugh Laurie. I know he's a little bit older, but just when he played Dr. House, he's got that sort of British a-hole type character he can play down. So might be a little bit old. I don't know what Hugh's doing nowadays, but no, I thought he'd be good if they were to go that old.
But you also wonder like how many, like I can't think of any like sort of that British, the British character. I can't think of anyone who I would
give it to Robert Pattinson. Just give him all the roles.
That's right. That's right.
He'd actually go all right. Actually, I think
it's the DC RPU now.
Yeah. It's going to play. What wasn't that rumor that
it's Norbert
get him
for
to
the
play?
DC.
Yeah, they get him to play the Joker as well in the sequel. That would be pretty meta.
I would be really into that, to be honest. I would love to see that shit.
Yeah, I reckon it could work. I mean, was it Armie Hammer raised it, but he did the twins on Social Network, so
he did.
Yeah, I think it'd be. I'd be here for it.
The beer isn't mango flavored, no, but there is mango flavored beer, and I have some in the fridge. I might have to go get some after this.
Yeah, I'm on these tropical
Arrow
pale
until season 2 was great, but it went downhill season 3 and 4. Flash was great up until season. Pretty much exactly how I feel. Like Legends had some really good moments. Like they had a moment where they went back and ran into a young George Lucas, So that was cool. Just like little things like that. But ultimately, again, Bebo will do it for you.
I think that was the same season as the Bebo one.
Yeah.
In Bebo.
Constantine on Embassy was amazing. Sad they didn't carry it on. Yeah, I felt the same. I was glad they brought him in for that couple of episodes of Arrow, and then ultimately brought him onto Legends as a main character. I'll let you guys address this. How do you feel about this as a Constantine pick?
To be fair, he kind of seemed like a pretty good dude.
Watching that interview, I was like, I feel like I was way more frustrated with the Sam Benjamin is Green Lantern people than I was with him. And as I was watching his interview, I was like, okay, like he seems nice enough. But I don't, we've seen him in 2 roles. I don't know that who knows? I've never seen him in anything and he's been in 2 minor roles in Peaky Blinders and had 5 lines. I don't know if I would.
And the actor that plays Constantine doesn't need to be British. I mean, Henry's British, plays American.
Well, that's true. That's true. But have you heard an American do a British accent or an Australian accent or any other accent?
Robert Downey Jr. did a good Aussie accent in Tropic Thunder, didn't he?
He did.
Oh my god!
There you go. There's a good casting for Constantine.
Oh, Robert Downey.
Maybe they could do
He's
Robert Downey
the British
Jr.
guy.
That's right.
Robert Downey Jr.'s Val Zod. He just
well, I heard he's free.
Robert Downey Jr.'s character from Tropic Thunder is Val Zod.
Yeah.
Oh. Jesus. All right, we've got a question from Facebook. Matthew, how hyped are you for the Snyder Cut? Guys, I want your most creative answers here. So we'll go with you, Jumbo, first.
How hyped am I? It's a weird one. Like I'm excited, but I'm also I'm just ready for it to happen. It's been so long, it's kind of like, it just almost feels I'm nervous now for it. For some reason, it's really strange. I'm nervous for it to come. Yeah. Like when I think about, anxious. Like I'm thinking about it coming, and I'm like, it's kind of like when you know that you've got to do something, you've got to do a speech, or because it feels like if we put so much energy into fighting for this thing, it's almost like do you know what I mean? Like it's
absolutely
almost a part of us. Like people who are just the the normies and they're casual fans or general audience, they'll see it and they'll go,
cool.
You're obsessed for 3 years over this. not that I'm thinking that it's not going to be any good, and I don't care if they like it or don't like it, but I'm just like, how am I going to react to it?
I don't think there's any possibility that I don't love it. And I say that because the amount of energy and passion that was put into making this thing happen in the first place, it's like when you know that you're going to purchase something and you spend all this time saving the money to purchase it.
That's
it. And then you're like, I'm so excited that I have this thing. And then you're stoked to have it. And it may not be exactly what you were after, but you're still stoked because you spent all this time anticipating it and building towards it and trying to get it. So I think there's no, and like I look at Man of Steel, I look at Batman vs Superman, and what my thoughts and opinions were on that, and how I felt that hit me personally on a deeper level than other movies. I feel like it's going to be the same situation, or even more so because of the personal connection that we all now have to it. I'm
wondering, for me, is like you save up all this money, you finally get the purchase, and then you think, that's done now. You get that cognitive dissonance, But
what now?
Yeah. But like me personally, I'm almost I'm on a different level for Army of the Dead. I'm like really excited about that because it's like that. It's like that impulse buy. Like I saw something the day of, I bought it, and it's coming soon. Like it's going to get shipped, kind of a thing. But the other one's like, I bought it 4 years ago, and it's finally coming.
No, that's right. How about yourself, John?
Yeah, well, I don't know, I've been a bit flat this week, and I honestly think that because we've got about 20 days left, that I can't actually really think of anything else at the moment. So I think there's that. There's the anticipation of that coming up, and it's pretty surreal. That you think to where, well, I was off the back of 2017. You never really knew where we stood, but that's my dog going. I'm just really excited. I'm probably a tad bit nervous too. I think from a liking the movie point of view, I think that's going to be a given. I mean, if you reflect back on how I walked out of the theatrical, I mean, I was pumped because it was a Justice League movie, So I think being a massive fan, going to like it regardless. But probably a little bit nervous in that, we don't know if it's going to continue, and I think we all know that it's probably going to end open-ended. And if it does get announced that it's a definitive no, that's it, I think that'll be a bit, disheartening. But it's pretty cool how, we're on the stream doing this stuff because we love it. All the people that we sort of met along the way, it's been pretty cool, and it'll be.
So then the question, I suppose, jumping in to just what you said there, if it does end up and it's left open and we don't get anything else, I know it'd be disheartening, but was that what you expected the entire time?
That it wasn't coming out, or that it wasn't going to continue?
That it would never continue after that?
No, after the uproar that happened today with the Superman announcement, I'm kind of just thinking of a world where it doesn't continue, and it's like the amount of people that would just Warner Brothers couldn't post anything anywhere without people going release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
I just think that will not stop. It will never stop until they actually just finish it. So, and the movement sort of showed what it could do.
And look at Restore the SnyderVerse. It's very much like that. I sort of feel like it does definitely feel like there's that next step. Now, I will admit I was fighting for the Snyder Cut to come out, fully anticipating that we would get it and that would be it. Never sort of expected it to come along. Now, where I was in May 19, 2020, before it was announced, is a completely different place to where I am now. But I would have to agree. It sort of feels like by this point, I reckon they've split DC right down the middle. Fans who do like Snyder and fans who don't. Now they're pandering entirely to those who do like or don't like Snyder at the moment. Where all they really need to do to get the group as a whole is finish those two films. Like, I don't know about you guys, but if the SnyderVerse continued with the two Justice League stories that they were supposed to be and ended there, and then they rebooted whatever, I support DC. I would follow anything they do because I had an ending. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I feel like that's what would, you've got this right split down the middle of people who want the ending and people who want the new. And if you do the ending in two films or even one film, if it's 4 hours long, you could probably do it. Then all you do is bring all that audience who was waiting on their ending into the group of new people who want stuff. And it doesn't make sense to me. But Kieran, we didn't ask you, how hyped are you for the Snyder Cut? And where are you at right now?
I'm really hyped. I'm counting down the days. I'm in like two mindsets. I'm kind of scared, like as soon as it comes, like it's just over and done with, and then I'm like, it's also feels like it's taken forever, but it's not at the same time. Like we've never been closer, and it still feels like it's far away.
It's like less than 3 weeks, which is crazy.
It's super crazy. It's weird to think that we've come this far and we're about to watch it. Like after 3 years, it's insane. It's like with the continuing on, I always thought that it was unlikely for them to ever release it, which I'm glad that I was wrong. So happy they're releasing it, but it seemed more likely that they would release a like half, 3/4 finished film than like make another one from scratch.
Yeah.
Then like continuing the universe. So I've always been thinking like there probably won't be any more movies after this, unfortunately. But it'd be nice closure to just finish it off, have a like round ending with second films.
So
Knowing Warner Brothers, I have like real low hopes. Everything they do tries to push everything that they've done with Zack further away.
It's not going to be up to Warner Brothers.
That's right.
Yes,
that's the good thing.
Well,
They don't want it.
Yeah. But you can understand why Jason Kilar is getting a lot of hate. I mean, and hate because he's going against the status quo in Hollywood, and he's there to run a business. And you just see all the running the metrics of the fandom. Like, he just seems too switched on to kind of let that all. I honestly think it just comes down to Zack. If Zack's happy to do it, it'll happen. I think he'll get all the actors on board, but it all starts with him, in my opinion.
It definitely all starts with him, but I guess where you get concerned is like today, somebody posted on Vero saying, Zack, we don't go after this. Continue making DC films. We need more DC films from you. And Zack said, not my decision. He responded to him. And
that's an interesting call, though.
Yeah.
Because it's not his decision, which means if it was his decision, he would say, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, if they say, hey, Zack, stay on, he goes, it's not my decision. He's not saying, oh, I'm not interested. He's saying, I don't have the call.
Yeah.
So if he was given the call, would he say no or yes?
Oh, he would absolutely.
We're not sure about that. But,
he would absolutely
but that's not
yes.
how he answered the question. So he said,
no.
It's not my call. So he's saying, if it does become his call, then he has the choice. But right now, he's So that tells me that
how I look at it is what him and what Ray have said in the past, and it's we decide who's canon. We decide what's canon. The fans decide what's canon, and he can't say that it's canon at the moment because it's not. But
everything is canon.
It's not his decision. It's up to us to show them what it is that we want, and we want the Snyderverse. And I don't think that any amount of DC fans who haven't liked his stuff or haters are more organized or louder than we are. And I guess it comes down to ego for me. It really comes down to ego for Toby Emmerich, because I think as much as someone like Jason Kilar can reach down and pull the property out, it's still Warner Media, Warner Brothers, DC, Zack Snyder's Justice League too. So it still needs to go through these positions, and you've got Zack Snyder, Walter Hamada, hater, Toby Emmerich, fuckwit, Jason Kilar, absolute king. And yes, he can smack them both into line, but it's not that easy.
It will be when the numbers come and it shows that both Hamada and Emmerich don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
And don't know what the fuck to bet on. And
Brendan,
the numbers are going to come in, and we're going to get some honest truth. If you walk into a meeting with some figures and you say, this is the proof. When you pitch something,
which is what happened in the first place.
Which is what happened in the first place.
Yeah. In a month's time.
Emmerich is going to get called into Kylar's office, and he's going to say, this is how much you paid for Justice League in 2017 to have it reshot. This is how much I paid, or Warner Media paid, HBO Max paid, to get this one finished. And what did we get? What
Then he's
did
gonna-
you get? What did I get?
Then he's
And
going
then
to
he's
point at
gonna
the
be
books
like-
of all the revenue from what the Joker brought in, and it's going to say 0 because he gave it all fucking away.
Yeah.
They when this comes out and if it does well, when it does well, they're going to be in like serious water.
Mm.
And then all these projects they have in the pipeline, well, they're on the books now, these new projects. So they'll likely still happen, but that the budgets that have been designated to these properties can be moved on to other properties. So, which was pretty similar to what was going to happen with Green Lantern, in my opinion, was when Jeff Johns had this Green Lantern show. He was in hot water with Warner Media with the whole investigation, the whole Justice League thing. And that project was due to come out and due to start after Zack Snyder's Justice League, right?
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out. Zack gets a huge reception from his Green Lantern that he's inserted at the end. All of a sudden, they go, let's just take that project's allocation and this Green Lantern series and let's move it over to the Snyderverse. That's what I believe was on the cards. And
you look at the cast. You look at the people who were cast in, or the characters that they announced for the Green Lantern show, and notice that Hal and John are missing, and that tells me that either they're there because they're going to be in something, or they're missing because they're going to be in something later, and they needed to be kept, or like they've essentially given themselves an option. And look, we've seen it for a long time. Zack is giving himself the option. We've seen rumors for a long time that they asked Zack to keep in specific footage that set up a Man of Steel 2, set up a Batfleck series, and set up Justice League 2 in case they wanted to pursue those threads. How much truth there is to that, I don't know. We don't know. But yeah, I guess that's sort of where I'm at with it all.
Well, let's just say nothing will be in Zack Snyder's Justice League that Zack doesn't want in Zack Snyder's Justice League because it's his Justice League now.
Yeah.
There's not going to be anything that's studio note added. It's all absolutely shackles off, as Junkie XL said. It's their ride to go wherever they want. And I think Zack's going to sow some seeds that are going to make people push for it.
No,
People are going to be like
right.
screaming for it, and it's going to be a success, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
for
look,
sure.
That's why I think a Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3, it's going to happen. If there's if he manages to pull off a Green Lantern, a modern Green Lantern, it'll happen. That's just my theory.
I think that here's the thing, they know that we're keen for it. They know that we're keen for it. They know we want to see more. The big factor will be, and I think you know, the winds are changing. Will be a lot of the, and you hate that this is the case. The general audience and general critics who were previously detractors now are in the unique position of having seen the Justice League film, knowing it was an absolute piece of shit, and can say, this is better. They don't have to say it was great. They don't have to say they loved it. All they have to say is, at least it was better than that 2017 Justice League. If we get people like that saying that, it makes a huge difference, because we already know the critics that are going to like it. We already know your critics who have already written hate pieces and are ready to give it half a star or 0 stars because they hate him and they disliked the movement and all of that. We know that that's going to happen. We know that they're all there. So, the general ones, the ones in the middle, if we can sway enough of them with the differences from 2017 to now, that'll be a huge factor for the audience. That'll be a huge factor for the executives who are looking at it, because they're seeing, well, yes, Batman vs. Superman's ratings were here, but Justice League's ratings were only here, and this one is actually here. I think it's a benefit.
Yeah, it's going to be tough too, because you're going to an exclusive stream, so the performance of the movie, the reception and box office for BVS, it's going to be a little bit different. I think it's just going to come down to viewers, like who views it and who stays onto their relevant providers for when that happens. Yeah, I guess in Australia, one could argue that a lot of people probably already had Foxtel or Binge as well. So it'd be interesting to see the spike in Australia if Binge or Foxtel went up around the announcement. I have no idea how we could see that, but that would be a pretty good metric to look at.
Unless they announce it. Yeah, I think we have to wait for them to announce it, but no, I definitely agree.
I reckon
feel like it's something they would announce.
Yeah, potentially. Look, the Snyder Cut trailer was on the front page the day that it was out. They made it a big deal, and that's awesome. This is a fair point. Whether it happens, that's another thing. They've said no. But yes, I 100% agree. Ryan Reynolds appears at the end of the film, and we get the sequel. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Whether or not he will appear, there's one thing. Then you've got to factor in all the other actors and all that sort of thing. But I think it's safe to say that everybody else would be keen to come back.
Marty's looking a bit coy there.
Come on.
Can't use that word.
For the
Coy.
Aussies. For the Aussies, tell us what you know. Spill the beans.
Hey, if Ryan, I mean, I've been a I've been a massive Ryan fanboy for a very long time, and him in this universe would be probably the pinnacle. I couldn't think of any other absolutely mind-blowing, actor to show up in this universe where you sort of just blow your mind. Ryan would be pretty up there for me. And if he does it, well, how good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he did come out and say that he's not in it, but so did Sam Benjamin. He said that he wasn't. So who knows?
So we've got two options for Green Lantern there. One who has said he's not, and the other one who Zach said he's not.
And then we also have Robert Downey Jr. as an option for John Stewart as well.
Yep. We've got the fan cast in here. We really need some Australian representation in the league. That's why. Oh, God.
Get some Harley in there.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was actually thinking about the other day, a bit of Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn in the Nightmare sequence. I mean, that would be great.
As far as I'm aware, they've confirmed that she's not in it, but that Harley will be mentioned.
Possibly.
Which sort of led me to the Black Canary thing, where if Black Canary is in it and she does have an interaction with Joker, they've got that mutual connection. So yeah, that's interesting. A couple of things I want to mention while we are on. Again, and how much of this is all this DC information is coming out all at once. Conveniently, we got Supergirl last week, and then yesterday or maybe the day before, we had Rachel Zegler cast in Shazam in an unknown role. So we had a new Shazam Fury of the Gods cast. How are you guys feeling about Shazam? Are you keen for the sequel? Where are you at with all that?
I really like the Shazam movie. I mean, we were pretty starved for DC content at the time. The good thing about Shazam is it wasn't trying to be anything else than what it was. My only criticism of Shazam was I did feel that Zachary Levi played the adult version of Shazam totally different to how Billy Batson was portrayed by, was it Asher Angel? Like, you just wouldn't have thought they were the same person.
That was my main criticism.
Yeah, but all in all, I mean, it was low budget. I give points to David Sandberg. He's pretty funny online, so I give a pass there. So it was good.
Film, David S. Sandberg online is fantastic.
Yeah, and the Headless Superman obviously was hard to take, knowing all of the background. I'm sure for GA it would have been fine. It probably would have been a little bit exciting, but for me, as soon as I didn't see Cavill in there, I was like,
disappointed.
Yeah.
Especially because for such a long time we had the Willie B, Woney B, and that image that had leaked online with him in the suit backstage that looked like he was there. I'm torn though, because I've heard he wasn't there because of scheduling conflicts. I've heard, and Grace Randolph has been saying that he wasn't there because, shush. Grace Randolph has said he wasn't there because he just decided to pull the pin last minute, and I don't, I've never worked with Henry Cavill before, so I don't know if that's true, but personally, it just doesn't seem like the kind of guy he portrays himself to be. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, wasn't his management company pretty? They were EPing the project, like the Garcias. So, I could probably accept that it might have been scheduling, because I reckon with them as producers, I reckon if they could have made it work, but if would have he been filming The Witcher around then, or would it have been post that?
No, before The Witcher. Would have been before The Witcher. I sort of feel bad. I was a big fan of the Witcher games. I read the book and I really liked what he did with the series. I was stoked to see that he was the character in that he was playing Geralt. And then they started filming season 2. They shut down because of COVID. They went back, and then someone on the cast got COVID, and they had to shut down production again. Then they went back, and then Henry broke his leg or his ankle or something and had to go into rehab, and the armor was too heavy. So they didn't have to shut down production, but they couldn't do any of his stuff because he couldn't stand, and they had to wait for him to recover, which is just full on.
Jeez. Bit of drama on set there.
I'm very, very keen for season 2 of The Witcher.
Yeah. Well, it seems like the drama on set there wasn't as bad as the drama on set of the Batman, where everyone got COVID, and then Robert Pattinson was banging Zoe Kravitz on the Batmobile. I mean, when in Rome.
How much truth to that rumor do you reckon there is?
I actually really enjoyed reading that story on the thread. I was like, this is great. This is just, I wasn't expecting it. It was just, the story got progressively larger. It's like, and she's pregnant.
And Matt Reeves has said he's so arrogant. Yeah. Oh my God.
To be fair, though, they named their child Robin.
It connects. We'll connect the DC universe with the child of Catwoman and Batman being the step grandchild of Aquaman.
It's very incestuous. I'll be back in a second.
No worries. You got the dog barking? My dog's biting my leg right now.
Oh yeah, know those feels.
Mm-hmm. We've just ticked over an hour, boys. It's going good. Feels good to be here. we haven't even discussed Army of the Dead, so I reckon we get into that very soon. But we'll just wait for John to get back. Just something small. I don't know if you guys care, but Neil Blomkamp mentioned earlier this week that he's writing the script for District 10, which I'm really, really on board with. What do you guys think? District 9, did you ever see that? Are you keen for a sequel?
Jumbo, you can go first if you want.
I didn't hear about that.
No?
I'm down for a sequel.
Yeah. I remember when District 9 came out, I actually texted my best mate yesterday, and I remember District 9 had just come out, and we watched it, and we loved the film, but were pissing ourselves laughing the entire way through. I don't know what I found so funny about it. I think Sharlto Copley's just his delivery, particularly like never forget the bit where he's going in and he's like, "Oh, do you want a sweetie? Do you want a sweetie?" And gives it to the little alien, and the alien kid pegs it at his head. He's like, "You little shit." I losing my mind laughing at that. And my best mate's texting me going, "I feel like I can't watch this now because if I do, if I watch this now, it's just not going to be the same thing. It's not going to be nearly as funny." Which that's fair. That's absolutely fair. But yeah, I would definitely be keen for a sequel and hope it happens.
I never got into it. I was a little bit too young when that came out, so like I wasn't a big fan of handheld cinematography and all that sort of stuff. And it just seemed, it seemed a bit weird. I've came around now on like Cloverfield and all that, so I'll have to give it another watch to see if I like it.
Well, Cloverfield was Matt Reeves, funnily enough.
It was great.
Yeah, Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams, which is why I went to see it, because at the time, J.J. Abrams was heading up Lost, which was my favorite show of all time. So, yes. So
best show.
That for me was the big, that was the big J.J. Abrams point for me, and why I was going, I'm gonna check this show out. So that's where it at. Just to remind everyone, we've just ticked over an hour. Drop a comment, ask some questions. If you've got any thoughts on the Snyder Cut, the DC universe in general, the Marvel universe, anything you want to talk about, drop a comment and we will discuss and bring your comment up on screen.
Just on District 9, I think I only saw it once or twice, but at the end, and I don't fucking care if I'm spoiling it because it was like, 10 years ago, was the main character, or the guy that teamed up with the alien, did he get like infected, and was he slowly turning into an alien?
Yes.
And then at the end,
I remember what I found so interesting about the film was that only half the film was found footage, and then the rest of it was shot like a regular film. So then,
really,
he hit a certain point where he started getting infected, and then it was stopped being a found footage film and started being about what was going on with him as he. Like, I remember his arm started turning into an alien arm, and then he could use the alien weapon because he had an alien arm, and the prawns. Because
when Kieran mentioned the cam, I was like, when I remember District 9, I remember it being more of a movie than it was like a POV type thing. And I think at the end it was assumed that he'd turned into a complete alien, and it was sort of they were going to assume that his prop alien mate was potentially going to come and get him or something.
I seriously haven't seen that film in so long that I'm gonna have to watch now.
I remember the ending specifically, and that was just thinking that. And I read a quick article about the director, was it Neil Blomkamp or something like that. Did Elysium shortly after, and then nothing much in the major blockbuster realm.
He's been like working on a Halo TV series forever.
But I really liked his style of filming. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't done, some of his projects haven't been greenlit as much.
Just want to bring this one up. Thoughts on Viacom announcing yesterday a Superman docudrama about Siegel and Schuster for Paramount. Got pushed under the radar by the JJ Superman announcement. That I'm on board with. That is a story I would like to hear.
I love that.
I think that sounds fantastic. And I'm going to have to look that up after this because I 100%. It's the same. I would love to see that Superman Lives doco. Did they release that in the end? I know they were working on it for a long time. And
the Death of Superman Lives, that one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did
no,
that come
that's out. Yeah, that's out. I haven't seen it, but it's I think you can hire it on maybe Apple TV or something. It's interesting that that's Paramount that's doing that drama.
Yeah.
So, docudrama. It'll be interesting. If they'll do the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Docudrama about that.
That's, I suppose, coming off that, that's another thing. What do you think the chances are of a docudrama being done regarding the Snyder Cut?
I believe there'll be a movie about it one day. It might not be in the next 10 years. And if it gets, if we get subsequent sequels, that'll push it further. But, they make, what was it? Anthony Hopkins was in the movie about Alfred Hitchcock, I reckon something like that will happen one day because it's quite an intriguing story.
I think, I definitely have to agree with you on that, given everything that's gone on. Now that Netflix is in the Snyder business, I wonder what the rights situation is for that, given the fact that it is DC stories. But, if Netflix wanted to say, hey, we want to tell the story about what actually went on. I mean, I feel like there'd be a lot of NDAs that are still in effect. And that's going to be the issue. But I feel like networks are going to see... I think the Snyder Cut is going to have unprecedented viewings. And then you're going to get unprecedented viewings on Army of the Dead as well, because it's off the back of Snyder. And I think where prior to these films, I was a fan and I'd watched all of his films, the Snyder Cut movement has definitely, I feel, made me more of a fan of his other films. And I think Army of the Dead is going to see that for Netflix, and they're going to want to continue making money because they're not retards like fucking... I just think it's just stupidity from Warner Brothers. So
just on Caleb's question, so docudrama, would that be about, I'm assuming, Siegel and Schuster creating the character of Superman?
So this is what he's mentioned.
That's not the name of the docudrama. Oh, okay.
Is it in English?
Yeah.
It's cool though.
Well, see, I don't know the history. Why would it be in German? Is Schuster and Siegel, did they have German background or something?
I think they were Jewish. That's all I know, really. And they moved over to America. I don't know when. And then, I know what's kind of helped create the Superman character was, I think was it Schuster's dad getting shot when a home invasion sort of thing. And that's why he made Superman bulletproof and have powers and protect people and all that sort of stuff. So it was in response to his dad, which is very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's full on. And you sort of question. Yeah, I think that would be really interesting to see. I would 100% be on board. I'm going to look that up because, I want to follow that story. I really want to follow that story.
It'd be interesting to see, how open they were. Well, if it is about the creation, if they talk about it probably going too far about future interpretations of the character and everything like that. Because they create a character like that. I don't know how the history, how big the character took off whilst they created it, or if it was sort of later down the line that he became a more prominent figure in pop culture.
I think he was created because it was 1938. I think he was more and more popular. I think he was popular early because the world was on the brink of war, and then war hit, and then he was very popular because he was it was in terms
using for a bit of propaganda.
Yeah, but like positivity. It was a bit of, there's some sort of like this American hero who is stopping all this thing. I know, like, there was a comic, Superman fights the Nazis, and then there was like a whole, Superman versus the KKK. Like, there's been a whole heap of this Superman used as this positive influence on people over the years. So, yeah, I think that's really cool, and to hear more of that story would be fantastic.
Yeah, have to look into it.
So I guess coming off that, we haven't at all discussed the Army of the Dead trailer. So did you guys all see the trailer? I imagine you all did. And yeah, initial thoughts. We got 1 minute of footage. What are we thinking?
I'm here for it.
It is batshit. It is
Can you
so
think
insane.
Can you think of a shot off the top of your head?
Yeah, that helicopter shot at the end.
Is that the one falling down?
Over the side. Oh,
Yeah.
I sat
So I think
there.
my kid's pausing. I'll be back.
I sat there yesterday just watching a high quality GIF of that just over and over. The quality.
Well,
just the detail.
Netflix knows what they're doing. Netflix were like, here's a bunch of GIFs that we made beforehand, and then just posted all the GIFs in high quality so that we didn't have to muck around with it. Netflix is really trying to
taking Fran's job.
Yeah, well, Netflix, I think, is looking at what's happening and going, yeah, we these are fans that will interact with us. These are fans that will make this a big deal, and we need to nurture that. And I think, yeah, that's pretty important. For me, the shot that really got me was just that opening shot of the Vegas Strip, where in the bottom corner you can see what you assume is a zombie on a horse riding by.
Yes.
And I saw a screen grab of that, and I texted it through to my fiance and said, recognize this? Because she's not really necessarily a huge Snyder fan. She's not really a zombie flick fan, but we spent New Year's Eve 2019, so 2018, 2019, in Vegas, like 5 minutes down the road from that strip. So basically there was a bridge in the shot that we'd walk across every single day. And it was cool to see sort of just destroyed, Planet Hollywood was there and all that sort of thing. And to see it destroyed. So I took that screenshot and texted it through to her like, hey, do you recognize this area in Vegas? Because this is where we spent, a few days here over New Year's. And she's like, oh my God, that looks awesome. So I think that alone will be enough to get her to watch the film with me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting how you do that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not really personally not a huge. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of zombie films. I like Dawn of the Dead, but I wouldn't go out of my way. But then you see this you see this genre. So for anyone watching who hasn't seen the trailer and doesn't know what the film's about, Zack Snyder, all this Justice League stuff went on, was filming this second film, Army of the Dead, for Netflix, which is something he pitched a while ago.
This one's
Welcome to the Kent Farm Kick-Ons.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes till bedtime for her. No.
But yeah, so Zach had been doing this film that he pitched. The entire story is essentially a zombie apocalypse happens, breakout in Vegas, but they contain it to Vegas. And then this group of people decide to heist and rob a casino. And I think because they know that there's no humans there, just zombies, which is just that it sounds fun, doesn't it? It sounds like a fun film. I think personally, like, just looking at it, I was like, oh, well, I'm not a huge zombie fan by any means, but this grabbed me, and I'm really, really enthusiastic to see it. One thing that really stood out to me, and it's got nothing to do with the trailer, Dave Bautista saying that he turned down a role in the Suicide Squad with his friend James Gunn in order to work with Zack Snyder. Huge.
That was a big thing. That was pretty cool. Makes sense.
Particularly when Batista has come off saying like, if I know I've got a contract for another film, but I'll use that and then I'll leave because you took away James Gunn. And then if you don't use his script, I won't even honor my contract. You know, for him to be saying stuff like that and then turn around and say, I'm gonna bail. That's full on.
I actually personally think that those two films are going to be pretty similar.
Suicide Squad and
Army
of the Dead. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah. I just see it as like a ragtag team going into this crazy batshit something's gone wrong area, and it's going to be just chaos and violence and just fun. It's just going to be in your face. I just see the two films being really similar, personally.
I can see that.
And it's ironic because you see the marketing that Netflix did for Army of the Dead, the font and everything like that is just like, it's almost exactly the same as David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Like the font and the look, everything, the whole aesthetic, it looks a lot like Suicide Squad. It's kind of like what they are. They're like a little squad going in to this like impossible thing. It's gonna get bombed. You know, they're about to get nuked. They have to get in and get out.
I reckon it's going to be pretty action-packed.
Oh shit, yeah.
Because
I think it's. Oh, sorry, Kiz, you go, mate.
You sure?
Yeah.
I reckon he's gonna play with it a bit because he's already done a zombie movie and he's probably going to want to do something different and just show how far he's come as a filmmaker, and this is going to be absolute crazy and gonna trump what he did with Dawn of the Dead. It's going to be great.
And you can see how excited he is when he talks about Army. As opposed to talking about Justice League. He's like, yeah, Justice League, but then he goes, Army, it's gonna be crazy, and he just is so pumped. So that to me just says this is gonna be an epic film.
Well, is it the zombies were caused by aliens or something? It's something to do with Area 51.
I totally.
That just opens the realm of possibilities to that whole universe. I think from what I gathered from the trailer, the zombies are slow-moving zombies. You know, there's different categories of zombies because I think it was a Dawn of the Dead. It was pretty much the first time I saw like a fast zombie. I was like, nah. So that'll be quite intriguing to see if they branch out.
If you think about the title, Army of the Dead, that and then he's spoken about different ranks or different types of zombies.
Yeah.
So that kind of reminds me of like Halo, right? You got the aliens, you've got the different ranks of aliens, the different types, and then you had the Flood. And the Flood was like kind of like a zombie sort of thing going on there, right?
Yeah, and like the Hive, was that them too? Like you got
that, yeah.
Just while
that's
we're
what
on
I'm
that,
thinking.
We got a special guest in here that I'm gonna just quickly bring in. He has just spent the rest of his time on the vodka stream, so I'll have to check out what time it is for him there. Krypton Cage, how you doing, man?
Hey.
I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Yeah, fantastic.
Hey, buddy.
Hey. Yes, I was on the vodka stream and very long this time.
How long did they end up going for?
You guys were on like
It's
4.5
close
hours.
to 5 hours.
Yeah, 5.
Oh, right.
Far out.
There we go.
Yeah, that was a
Damn.
long one.
John
I
has
was
a
watching
nice setup.
most of it. Oh yeah, there
Hey, did you
go,
see his
John.
background? You see his
Yeah.
background?
Yeah.
Do you recognize that picture?
Yep. He's trying to be
Yeah.
Zach, man.
He wants to be Zach and you. Look at the aesthetic.
Between. So,
That's right.
really question for you, Casey. How does it feel to like the comparison between making your debut on the vodka stream be the Campfire podcast?
Of course.
Oh, I mean, all of us are friends, man. So I don't see any difference. Except I just got to talk to Junkie XL, so that's awesome. And
Yeah.
yeah, he's such a chill dude, man. I thought he was always
yeah.
going to be this
Legend.
secretive, never breaking NDA stuff and all that. But he's just
He was
exclusive after
spilling
exclusive.
all of their cheese. He was just giving. You guys got so much good stuff.
Yeah.
That's right. We've discussed earlier as when we got started on this, we sort of come across from watching the vodka stream and just talking about what sort of thing that he'd done and the things that he'd said. You got a fair few exclusives tonight. You got a couple of tracks.
Yeah.
We were all eating. We're sitting there. I posted a photo because my puppy was chewing up a bunch of cardboard on the ground, and then when he started playing one of the tracks, my puppy stopped and just looked at the TV. He was just like, so I just quickly snapped the photo of the TV with him just staring at it, because that managed to knock him out.
Yeah, I mean, his tracks do that thing to everyone.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. So I guess coming off 5 hours, what time is it where you are?
Oh, I don't even know. It's 2:20 p.m.
That's not so bad. We're kicking on the
fun.
Well,
10 to 10
I
to
sleep
8
around
here.
11 a.m. because I work at night. So
Right.
that's why.
So you're sort of on the same schedule as all the other guys after all.
Yeah.
So we just talked about the Army trailer, Casey. What were your thoughts on it? On a little teaser.
On the Army of the Dead teaser?
Yeah.
Dude, it was just everything the teaser had to be like. It was just showing what the Zack Snyder aesthetic would be, showing the music style of it, how action oriented it would be. And it also was fun. Like, it had daytime scenes and it had some color and it had some jokes. So people won't complain this time, I guess.
Yeah,
It's not really a Zack Snyder film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare Zack Snyder to betray Zack Snyder and not be a Zack Snyder film?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were making comparisons to the Suicide Squad as well. Like,
Yeah.
Who would do that?
I mean more not the Suicide Squad, just David Ayer's original Suicide Squad with the just the aesthetics and the color in the text.
Absolutely.
Particularly.
Even
there
the
was
music,
a lot of that.
the way it was played.
They mixed that music so well. The
Yeah.
way they did those shots,
Yeah.
and even that part with Batista with the gun,
Yeah.
like, that
The
was
way
such
the
a good
trailer
shot.
started with the music, it was almost like the Suicide Squad trailer where it starts with, "Is this the real life?" It was like exactly like that. And then the title, text comes on, and it was exactly like that.
I also love the part where they compared the Elvis impersonator, like part 1, and then like the after Elvis, like the zombie version. That was so good.
Well, the Snyder Cut did also make it into the teaser as well, briefly.
Yeah.
In the can. Really
I
sort of
cannot
full
wait for the full trailer, man.
of the dream lens in a couple of those clips too was very dreamy, so to speak.
Yeah.
I want to buy one of them, but I don't have a spare $3,000.
Cinematography was spot on with that. The look of it's fantastic.
Yeah,
we've got the
absolutely.
question here. What do you think Zach's going to bring to the ING Fan Fest tomorrow? So for us, that's 5 a.m. tomorrow, which is 9 hours
9
away.
hours, yeah.
Is that when he's on, or is that when? I don't know.
Yeah, it's 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. tomorrow. Our time.
Yeah, they put a poster out saying that would be the time when the panel starts. So I
Fantastic.
guess he will join during that time.
So what are we thinking? Like, at this point, for me, I don't think that it's going to be another trailer so soon after the other one. I reckon we're getting two options. It's either we're getting a direct clip from the series or from the movie, like maybe a 1 to 2 minute clip, or we're getting the official poster, because obviously we've had those like date announcement posters, but I reckon an official poster will be potentially it.
I think one of the things. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you don't think he's going to show up with Sam Benjamin and announce Green Lantern?
He's announced it, yeah. He was like prank,
I think he'll
last week.
Yeah, I think he'll just bring in a clip, like you said. That feels like a special thing to bring to a fan event, and also a poster would be fine, but I don't think it would be that big. But also, there's this image that he dropped yesterday with the
Superman.
thing. Yeah, so I think he was going to explain every bit of it. And I hope there's a clip with it too. I mean, I want to see a clip from the movie.
I was looking at that.
Yeah. This is the first minute of like the history lesson or something.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think the thing with that was, the thing with that one was that I was looking at. I didn't pick up what it was initially. I was looking at it, and then I think I saw Gaza post about it, saying it sort of looked like. It sort of looked like the history lesson that we got from Man of Steel in the ship with Helix and all the stuff going on there. So that seems like a really cool way to sort of maybe either Clark's explaining, or maybe in the ship the League is learning from potentially Jor-El, or the Jor-El that's in the system, who is giving them this information about who Clark was prior. And I don't know, like, it seems like a stretch to sort of think that Bruce knows that this is going to work.
Yeah.
Maybe some sort of explanation as to why it's going to work. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, there's a lot of context and dialogue scenes and stuff that's never been addressed or shown in pictures or in teasers or anything. Even to this day, he's just showing the action bits, right? So even when the BVS trailers were coming out, all of them were so action oriented. And then when we saw the movie, it was basically a political drama, right? So much dialogue and stuff like that. So I'm just hoping how much more of that we're going to get in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, absolutely. And I 100% agree with you. I think that's going to be a heavy aspect in the film. We've seen a lot, but I also, like, you look at something like Cyborg, who I think is going to have a lot of dialogue and a lot of that sort of stuff that we haven't seen, that was cut from the film, because obviously we know is the heart, and I don't think action sequences are what is going to drive that sort of attitude, I suppose, or that sort of narrative.
And the music he played today, it was very emotional. So that's something to be played. I'm guessing it's played during the time when he learns about his past, his parents, all that stuff. It felt like the music was there.
No, I agree. I mean, it's hit a point where what can Zach announce that we don't know? And that's both the exciting and surprising and almost I almost don't want to see anything else. but I
Yeah,
know
me
that he's
too.
going to keep announcing. He's going to just keep announcing stuff. But there's so much in this film that, you know, it still feels like we've got 20 days to go, and he could make a special announcement of something we don't know every day, and we still wouldn't know half of the things that he's going to show us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm keen to be surprised. I'm sort of one of these people who thinks that I really wish I didn't know that Jared Leto's Joker was showing up.
I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah. But I get the pull for the general audience. Like, it's a big deal, and you could see what happened when he dropped the trailer, and it was a good move. But imagine how crazy it would have been to watch the film and then see Jared Leto in the Nightmare. Like, mind-blowing.
Yeah, if it was me making the trailer, or at least that's what I predicted, I would have ended it with Darkseid saying the line, "All of existence shall be mine." I thought that's how the trailer would have ended, because everyone knows Darkseid is in it, so that's probably going to be your pull for the movie, right? But no, he just switched it with Joker, and it blew up like crazy.
So do you think, though, that having Darkseid say that line in a trailer implies that Darkseid is more heavily in the film than he might be? I mean, we don't know what he's in, but and this is why I'm torn on the Joker. I think it was a mistake to put in the Joker so heavily in the Suicide Squad marketing, because we saw the backlash that happened when he wasn't the main villain and he was in it for like 20 minutes max. And I feel like if people see the Joker in this and go, "Oh, Joker's back," and then he's in the 4 minutes that was shot, it's going to be the same sort of backlash. It's like, "Oh, you put him in the trailer and he was only in 4 minutes." Like, that was all we saw. I'm torn, and that's what that's what I'm sort of worried about with the trailer.
So with that, I always thought that after the fandom teaser came out, I thought that the first official trailer should be just story oriented, but it shouldn't reveal any other stuff, other major stuff like, Joker and the Darkseid decides shot and all that stuff. But I think because of him having to deal with WB again and all that shit, I think he had to basically show all of his cards during the marketing, because even if people complain later, it wouldn't matter because it's not a theatrical release, and the first day most people will watch it on the first day or the second day. So if people complain after that, it wouldn't even matter. They'll already have all the views,
No, that's
While I
exactly
agree
right.
with you, they should have hit it, but I get why Zach is doing it.
I 100% agree. Like, I get it, and I think for us, sort of,
I'm just happy he didn't show Martian Manhunter.
I'm the same. That I don't want to see. I know we've seen the comic, but that's all I want to see. Just don't put him in. We know that he's coming. Just leave it.
Yeah.
How are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on the fact? There was rumors a while back that Harry Lennox. I saw a text going around that Harry Lennox had just got a COVID test because she was shooting with Zach tomorrow. And it was sort of like October. Or maybe September. It was like earlier, and it looked like there was maybe a weekend or something, and he had to get a COVID test to go do this thing. But it was like before the additional photography. Knowing that he's not in the film and he wasn't at the additional photography, as far as we are aware, what are your thoughts?
But apparently, someone confirmed with Zach about that, and he said that it was true or something like that. I cannot remember exactly what it was, but it was confirmed that it was true. And even Grace mentioned later on that they shot it before the additional photography. So that also checks up.
Yeah, excellent. So that, then I guess that 4 minutes of additional footage that he's talking about, do you reckon it's the 4 minutes inclusive of this little extra Martian Manhunter scene? Or just 4 minutes of Joker, 4 minutes of additional photography that they shot there?
Yeah, I think it's just that one scene. The pictures that he keeps posting inside that box thing.
Yep.
I think it's just that scene, because he shot new Nightmare stuff, and all of that looks to be handheld. So you can tell which ones are shot by Zach and which ones shot by Fabian, And a lot of the new additional photography seems to be just dialogue that he shot from close up.
Yep.
So that's also a big giveaway. But I guess we'll find out when the movie comes out. So far, him and Debbie both say that it's just literally 1 or 2 days of shooting and just 3 or 4 minutes.
So yeah,
because I get why they kept that narrative too. Because as soon as they went into the additional photography and the budget came out to be 70 million, people just went
They're
at it
making
like,
a whole new
he's
film.
basically
They could have given that to COVID research.
So they were thinking that way behind in May and stuff
already,
like that.
yeah.
And I later realized that people are gonna say this. They actually are saying this, and then Zach already played them.
Yeah, that's right. He already had it, and I think we can tell from the Vanity Fair article that Zach was already aware of what the messages were going to be. You look at that one where he sort of said to Toby Emmerich, "No, I'm not letting you release it as is because then it's going to be shit." And then you're going to be able to say, "See, it was shit anyway." And that whole thing, and he's like, "But you get the internet off your back. That's the only reason you're doing it." He's clearly aware of what the narratives are going to be as he does things, and he's prepared for it.
Yep. A lot of people in our fandom too, they don't give him that much credit as they're supposed to, because they're not capable of thinking on his level. He's already 10 steps ahead, and people don't understand that.
100%.
Yeah.
No, that's I agree. I think a lot of the fandom is just I think there's just so much information coming from all these different people about what is and isn't fact, and people do get sucked into one lane or another lane or all the lanes, and
Charlie.
it can yeah, exactly. Will it be Green Arrow? Did you who was it? Did you guys see somebody posted Charlie Hunnam's song and it was Let It Be, but
Craig.
it was Will It Be?
Craig.
I just pulled into work. I clicked it sort of thinking, I think I know what this is going to be, and I just was pissing myself laughing in the car. It was so good.
I love that Charlie Hunnam Green Arrow. I personally don't want to see that die. Like, I don't think put that name on and then have the theatrical line of Henry Cavill going, "You won't let me live, you won't let me die."
I just want to see, like,
with all of the different sort of news coming out, like, I'm feeling pretty optimistic about all of the other versions of DC characters coming out. I mean, when Ezra showed up on The Flash and Jim Lee was pushing multiverse, like, I'm kind of going to I'm happy to let it play out for a bit, because they've sort of said, yeah, we want to have different iterations for our various markets. I mean, everyone's seen the clips of the new Aquaman cartoon that I won't personally watch. I mean, it looks pretty ornery, but that might be for a certain market. And you think anyone running a business, like, you want to be able to have a diverse customer base to maximize your revenue. So it doesn't make sense to have just one iteration. And, I think a lot of studios have probably hamstrung themselves over the years by doing that. I mean, Marvel probably have put themselves into a bit of a hole there, because their whole story is one universe, whereas, DC is able to tell multiple ones, whether it be on TV or film or comics or whatnot. And I think, the reception to Justice League will be a pivotal step. But I also think The Flash, when it ever starts filming and whatnot, will also be a probably pivotal moment, because by the sounds of it, they're trying to really establish that multiverse and, get the general audience a little bit more aware of it.
And do you
That's just
think
my opinion.
with the multiverse they're going to be doing, obviously we know we're going to Keaton's universe, Batman 89. We've got Sasha Calle's Supergirl coming in. Do you think we're going to be hitting like 3 or 4 different universes to really show the audiences that this isn't just like, hey, we can go to one where we're moving right across the board here? Or do you think that Supergirl's sort of going to be, relevant to the Keaton universe? Or where are you guys at with that?
I think personally they are trying to create a new multiverse shared universe where they want to try and put their own Justice League together, and they want to hand pick from each property and go, look at how we just created this big crossover event. It's not gonna work. You're gonna have like DC fans, whatever that is there's so many. Like you just look at the last week worth of discourse over just Superman, and then all of a sudden you've got
the last 24 hours.
Okay, we're gonna have this Flash, and we're gonna have this Superman, and we're gonna have that Batman, and maybe even that Batman and Wonder Woman. Here you go. Here's a Justice League movie. It's like, come on, man. You can't just do that. You can't. It's not. And I know the words "it hasn't been earned" is a bit triggering, but it won't be. It'll just be so flat. It just won't resonate with the audience, because you're going to have, what tone are you going to have for a multiverse film when the whole point of your multiverse was to have multiple tones in all pockets of different perspectives and likes? You can't pull all that together and just go.
Yeah. I agree. If they were trying to get towards a multiverse team up very early, wouldn't work. If they were trying to sort of definitively just differentiate who's who and then go off in that direction, it could. But you're 100% right. If they think, all right, sweet, we'll go this multiverse, and then 2 movies later we're going to have a big Crisis on Infinite Earths type setup, it won't work. CW arguably only worked because they were all within CWverse, really. I mean, there were little cameos.
Yeah, that was a crossover.
It didn't really impact the story.
No, I 100% agree, and I think that's something that we're going to have to sit on, because obviously it's very clear that Warner Brothers doesn't really know what they're doing with these properties. And at this point, they're saying, oh, we're doing a multiverse, but all it takes is for one critic to say, oh, I don't understand it. And they go, oh, yeah, we're not doing the multiverse anymore, guys. We're just focusing on Robert Pattinson's Batman. That's the only thing that, because you guys know Batman, right? That's what we're doing now. That's the thing. We'll sit on it. There's so much talk about what's coming and what's going on. And back in 2014, there was so much talk about Batman vs. Superman, Justice League 1, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Green Lantern Corps, Flash, Aquaman, and what have we seen? We've seen like 2 films and then a bunch of tacked on with like Birds of Prey and Shazam. It's just reactionary stuff based on what some people sort of thought back then.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot can happen. I mean, that it just probably just comes down to, your Hamadas and your Emmerichs probably don't understand how much potential they actually have. If they really just want. I mean, you look at the modern day films, the amount of CBMs that are happening right now, they're the ones that are, they're popular right now. And to take away the SnyderVerse, that would be crazy, but just not to diversify and look at different options. It's not a great business model for them. So, it'd be interesting what the next couple of months bring, but we'll see what happens,
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm excited for the Suicide Squad, though, because that feels like one movie that's not being fucked with, and it's basically James Gunn's whole project. It's his whole vision and everything that he wanted. Well, mostly he's going to get it. So I'm excited to see that. But the Flash movie, I don't know. It seems kind of interesting where they can go with it, but it has so much baggage and keeps getting delayed and stuff like that. I'm just not getting any sort of interest in it right now. Maybe with the trailer or something I might, but right now none of it. And Black Adam also seems intriguing, but I'm not interested in it right now. I'll have to see a trailer for that.
And it is like that, you know, like I think we've been around so long that the casting news and all that sort of thing has been up and down. This sort of thing's been going on for so long that it hits a point. It's like until, like, I'm surprised they've even started filming this thing. You know, like Flash has finally started filming. Black Adam starts filming April 12th. Green Lantern series starts filming April 11th. Like, they're starting to get that process. Once we see the footage, that's when the excitement will amp up.
Yeah, even with the Superman reboot article that came out, everyone was freaking out over reboot and stuff. I was just like, just tell me when it's happening and then I'll react to it.
Yeah.
I'm just done with these headline articles that never happen.
I was saying before, like,
writers have been announced now, not even the directors. And J.J. Abrams, from what I recall, didn't actually comment in any of those articles. So
yeah.
It's probably a fair way. I think WB are just being pricks. I think the notion of another Superman movie, in my eyes, is fine. Timing, you know, seems a bit fishy. But what I mean, would you expect any different?
Yeah, anything that's going to happen with that, it's gonna start after 2 years anyway. Like they only have a writer now. They don't have a director. They don't have a lead actor. They don't have a story, no script, nothing. So the Flash movie had everything, and it's coming out like 3-4 years later. And
how many times have they had a director?
Exactly.
Are they on like the third iteration?
New Gods. That fucking
come up after that. Or Black Hawks.
the Batmobile spin-off.
Jesus, that's right. And then
the Nightwing
that was happening from the Nightwing. Was it Chris McKay or the bloke who wrote the Lego movie was doing the Nightwing movie?
I was actually really excited for that because I love the Lego movie, and then I was like, okay, he's doing Nightwing, and obviously he's going to connect to the Batman, and there's Ben Affleck in that. All that shit just went away.
It would have been pretty funny if he was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to connect Nightwing to the DCEU, is going to follow up Batman v Superman, and they're like, oh, which Robin died? Was it Jason Todd? So Chris McKay's gone, fuck.
Yeah, there's that.
That's Stephen Yuen, or however you say his last name, Glenn on The Walking Dead. There was on a fan cast for him as Nightwing, and I'm like, I can get behind that. I mean, we need more Asian representation, you know? We'll take that. Why not?
Absolutely. Particularly when he came straight off The Walking Dead. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Boys, unfortunately, I'm going to have to wrap it up right now. I just got a message that I now have to go and be a taxi. But look, I appreciate everyone coming on. Thank you for joining. Thanks for chatting. As always, it's awesome to have conversations with everyone and just be able to chat about this stuff that we love. KC, thank you for coming on, dude. I really hope we get.
Thank you for having me, man.
And we'll do it again soon. But we're going to take it out with this outro we've got that was fantastic that John put together. So until next time.
Peace
I've been
out,
ready from the
guys.
jump. Tell me anything, but never tell me that I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm on. You can bet I've been above. You can never see me like I'm John. Cena with a song. Yeah, we kicking in the whip, boy. Then boom, boom. Invisible like Bitcoin, but all around we taking over the world. I'm making home with the girl, head to tail like a flip coin. You can take it how you want. I've been up having fun. Yeah, baby, this ain't a disjoint. I ain't famous, I'm a boss. I've been up stacking sauce. Do you share the hit, boy?